Well, we got nobody here, as I figured. Just as I figured. How's that gonna work? Maybe. Yeah. Alright. Well, there ain't nobody here, but I guess if you come in later and you start watching from the beginning, I just got okay to live stream, so I'm gonna try it. Just out here working on the car tonight. I got the gas tank in today. Got the gas tank in, plumbed up. Working on this rear brake hose. Flopped me a little bit. So, getting it back together. Get the driver's side hard line put back on and get that hose put back on. And, get the front hoses hooked up. I gotta get a master cylinder on, get it bench split, and go from there. Trying to get brakes on the car. Everything on the hubs is done. All new brake shoes, hardware and everything, wheel cylinders. Man, that's where we're at. Guess we'll see if anybody comes in. Where can I set this? There. Yes. See? All by myself on YouTube. All by myself. Oh. Oh, somebody was here. There, chat. Live chat. Well, this is interesting. For sure. It'd be nice if I got some kind of notification when somebody come in. I need a regular 3/8 wrench. Make life a lot easier. This line in a lot better shape than the other one was. I guess they're both in good shape. The other one was just pretty stuck on there. Still ain't got nobody. Gotta be at least be a YouTube moderator in here. I went live like, hey, there's somebody here. What's going on? Monday night, working on the Firebird. Figured I'd try live streaming because I just got okay to do that. Put the gas tank into. Oh, there he went. He's gone. Ain't nobody want to watch me put brake lines on a 69 Firebird. I understand. That's called work. We ain't about that. We ain't about that. Welcome to live chat. I ain't got no live chat. Talking about. Talk back there with us. Hey, putting brake lines on this Firebird. Got the gas tank in today. Now we're fighting brake hoses, brake lines, trying to get the old Barnbird going. Let's check it out. me get out of here. It's the project I'm working on. 69 Pontiac Firebird. The old man's had it for 30 years. No, it's been parked for 30 years. He's had it for a lot longer than that. Brought it home about a month and a half ago, and decided to get it back on the road. So I put all new brakes on it. All four corners, rebuilt all the brakes. Had to go through the rear end. Rear end was all full of rust. And undercoated the whole underside of the car. Got the engine bay all painted up. I'm gonna do the unthinkable and put a Chevy small block in a Pontiac. That'll burn a lot of people. But yeah, it's the project, man. Pretty slick old car. Pretty slick old car. But back to brake lines. I got the gas tank in today. Got it all plumbed in. And get this dang thing under here. There it is. Now we're fighting getting these brake hoses hooked up. And they're gone. I said, nope. I don't blame it. Boring. Watching some dude work on junk on a Monday night. Ain't you got nothing better to do with your life? No. I do. Not tonight though. Just like I was saying today, these screws in the gas tank are backward, just so they can poke you in the head. You know, you got one there and one back over there, and they don't affect you unless you're under here changing this brake hose out. And then these screws that stick out, you know, they like to gouge you right in the back of the skull. Excellent design on what they were thinking in the 60s. But yes, working on the bird. I got the gas tank in today, got it plumbed up. Working on trying to get these brake hoses on, which has been fun. Some of these lines didn't want to come off. Took some heat, but I saved them all. They're all, actually, once I got the rust and everything out of the connections, it really wasn't in that bad of shape. Come a long ways from what it was a month and a half ago. It's almost ready for the drivetrain to go in it. Like I said, I'm gonna do the capital sin and put a small block Chevy engine in a Pontiac Firebird. And I just got the okay from YouTube to go live, and I was like, hey, I'll try it. Why not? Yeah, it's been a heck of a project. Got the whole, so far I got all the brakes on all four corners done. Got the whole underside of the car power washed, undercoated. I took after like with these 4 or 5 inch wire brushes on the drill, brushed the whole underside of it, painted everything, undercoated everything. I just got the engine bay all painted up. Not too much left to do really to the car other than get the drivetrain ready to go, and the engine just needs the heads and cam timing chain put on. It's sitting over on the stand. Basically it'll be the same 355 that used to be in my pickup with the Lunati 268 camel hump heads, turbo 350 with about a 2400 stall. Yep, I was hoping to get it be done already, but there ain't no way. It turned into way more than what I thought it was going to be. Like when I opened the rear end up, went to do the brakes on it, the seals were leaking, so I pulled it all apart, and it must have got water in it at one time. It was completely full of rust, so it needed new bearings and everything, and might as well do it right. Do it right, do it once. Hopefully. No. And then you lose tools. And it's like I did. How you lose tools? There we go. Brake hose changed. Let's get out of here. Definitely a lot closer than what it was a month and a half ago. It's coming along. Got the engine bay all painted up real nice, sanded the firewall down. It was flat black at first, and I was like, the flat black, it hides a lot of stuff, but it just didn't have the shine. So I put a little gloss over the top of it, semi-gloss, to help give it just a little bit of shine to it. It's coming along. There's the engine. I gotta get those heads, throw off that one. There it is. Yeah, you got that Nova running yet? Or is it getting close? Thanks, man. Yeah, spent a lot of time on that engine bay. Just little stuff that I wasn't planning on doing anything like that when I first got the car here. Things like that kind of snowballed, and just like you said, a simple 15-minute job that I turn into a 3-hour job for several hours. It's the way it goes. Needs a converter, I bet. How big a cam did you stick in that thing? If I remember right, it was supposed to be pretty rowdy. This thing's gonna look pretty neat when it gets done. I like those wheels on there. Comp 292. Yeah, that'll be a pretty rowdy cam. Picked him up from a guy in Hutch a couple months ago. Way before I ever thought about bringing the car here and working on it. Interior of this thing is like a time capsule. We hadn't cleaned it or nothing. Not yet. It ain't even had a good bath yet. Really, the only damage in here is these tiny little rips in the driver's seat. Other than that, the interior is pretty straight. Pretty straight, no cracks in the dash. Got that star shifter. So it was a stick car. Had a, yeah, the torque thrust looked good. Was a stick car, and it's going automatic. And put a turbo 350 in it, 2400 stall. And so I got that star shifter over there, gonna get mounted up. The original hole that was in the floor for the shifter just looked like they torched it out. I mean, it was bad. So I'm not sure whether I'm gonna pull the carpet out and weld a piece in from the bottom, try to cover that up, or just rivet and silicone down a piece over it to close it up, and then the hole's there if it ever needs to go back stick shift again. But I do got, it is a time capsule. Definitely a time capsule. I gotta get that driver's seat pulled out because I'm gonna pull the clutch pedal out of it. I got a big brake pedal to put in it, where it has the automatic style brake pedal in it. That was one thing the old man wanted, so got that in. Just gotta get it in there. It's coming around. I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it here the last couple of weeks. I've been slaving away on that truck. That thing, it breaks everything. It broke the drive shaft, tore the rear end up. I just finally got the rear end back together on it. But take it easy on that thing for a little while. Let that ring and pinion break in. Oh man, a lift. Guy needs a lift. Yeah. And that's almost what this one looks like. Like somebody took the torch to it and cut the hole out. I mean, it was a factory stick car, and I don't think it was ever changed. But I don't know if the factory just did that bad of a job, or I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, that engine in the 71 is rowdy. That thing's a freaking monster. And Dave told me that when he sold it to me. He's like, the reason it's been parked so long, or the reason it was sitting so long, is because if I stick it in my square body, it's going to break everything behind it. He goes, so I'd rather just get rid of it. And I stuck it in that truck, and I had the turbo 350 in it with 3500 stall. And I had a couple hundred miles on it, and it got a really bad vibration. So I figured it was a carrier bearing, and it was. I pulled it in the garage one night, changed the carrier bearing out, changed all the U-joints out, stuck it up on, or left it on the jack stands, ran it up to about 80, 90 mile an hour. No vibration, it was perfect. Took it out in the driveway, brought it up on the stall, and floored it. First time I'd ever floored it under power. And exploded the yoke right by the carrier bearing, just obliterated it. I'm so glad it happened right here in the driveway, because me and the old lady was getting ready to go to Hayes and go to dinner that night. So it got a 4L80E in it now, and like a 3-inch drive shaft with 1350 yokes, and just put a new posi carrier in it, a new 373. It was growling out of the rear end, and when I opened the cover back up, it was completely full of glitter. Completely full of glitter. And it wasn't like that when I put the carrier in. I put the carrier in with the original gears when I did the trans swap. And when I changed the seal, the pinion seal, I set it back, I don't know, 10 inch-pounds of torque or something like that on my pinion bearings that were used. And this time when I went to pull it together, there was absolutely no preload in my pinion. There was play in the pinion. So I just tore it all down, put all new bearings all throughout it. New ring and pinion. The old one was pretty tore up. I'm waiting on an axle to break. That thing needs a really good set of axles and I don't know, or a C-clip eliminator or something, because it's fun, but it's not going to be fun when an axle comes flying out. What a day. Got the gas tank in tonight. Oh, no, I done already shut the light off. Got the gas tank in tonight. Got it all plumbed up. Got that new fuel line in a few days ago. It had a 5/16. Yes, I ran a crush sleeve eliminator this time. That way, I don't ever have to worry about it crushing the crush sleeve and losing pinion preload. And next time I pull it apart, I know exactly what it needs for shims. Just shim it up the same way it is. It should be good to go. Because I almost feel like that was the problem, like, and I don't see how it would have, but I mean it could have, like under torque, crush that crush sleeve further and cause it to lose its pinion preload. That's the only thing I can think of that would have caused it to do that. Yeah, that's the way to go, man. I mean, crush sleeves, I guess for what they are, they do okay, but if you're gonna put any power to it, I really feel like the eliminator's the way to go. Just one more step at bulletproofing it, and I don't know. I feel like C-clip eliminators are next because I wrote little notes on the axles, like time for a 9-inch on one, and the left axle, because I think it had said left and right on them. The left axle, I wrote this axle is left a chat right on the end of it. So next time I see those axles is probably when they're going to be broke. I really hope not. I hope it don't break, because we'll losing the wheel out from underneath of it and coming down on the bedside just tearing shit up. It no fun. I'd rather it live a little bit. I think as long as I stay on a street tire and don't really try to get it to dead hook that hard, I think it'll be all right. I hope. C-clip eliminators. Yeah. That no will be the same way. That's a 383 or a 355? I don't remember. That was a 383, wasn't it? What next? Oh, 350. Just, hell yeah. 350. That's got a decent set of heads and 292 cam. I'll have to come check that thing out sometime. Last time I seen it, it was in the garage. That's when I picked up my cherry picker. Cherry picker. You had the engine on the stand, and I think it was getting ready to go in. Zero deck with flat tops. Probably about 10-1, a little over 10-1 compression. About right for the gas we get around here. This thing was like 235, 240 psi cylinder pressure. It's 11 2-1 compression. And I figured that big of a can that it has in it, it's like 247, 253 at 50. I figured that would bleed off enough cylinder pressure for it to, the dynamic compression to come down some, but it didn't really. It was still like 240 some. So I played with the cam timing some. I got it down to 195. And I feel like any more than that, it just ain't going to be the same motor. Um, it still pings like hell on 91 octane if I try to put any more than like 32 degrees of timing in it. So I was mixing VP additive. I tried boosting. I don't think the gas from out here is as good as what we were getting at 24/7. Their 91 octane seemed a little better, but it is what it is. I need to get the orange truck running. That thing will have that LS in it and just a cruiser, you know. Put 87 in it and run it, and it should be okay because it's getting dish pistons in it. It's only going to be like 9.5 to 1 compression, so 993 heads, playing down. Yeah, try boosting or at the VP Madditive, you know, like the purple riding can. That stuff worked pretty good. I could run 36 degrees of timing in that thing with, I think it would take 2 cans though to a full tank of gas. So if you're mixing 20 gallons of fuel, it's going to take you $50 worth of additive. But it's cheaper than going out and buying race fuel because race fuel, you're looking what, 14, 15 bucks a gallon for race fuel. So it's not cheap either way, whether you're going to put additive in it or mix race fuel. But I guess it is what it is to have something that's fun on the street. 12 degrees initial timing, 32 total-ish. That ain't too bad. I recurve mine when that's the way that distributor was. It gave about, you know, about that 20-degree swing, and I didn't want to idle very good. I had to have the idle open way past the idle slots, way into the transition slot. Signed up recurving the distributor, put a different bushing in it, and it only gives it like 10 or 12 degrees of advance now in the mechanical. So it idles at like 20, 22 degrees. And then, you know, if I got it at 22 degrees at idle, it's only giving it like 34 degrees total. And I haven't wanted to lock it out yet. I'm thinking about trying it just because if it's locked out, then I can set it wherever I want to, and it'll have a nice, clean, smooth idle. But just to be able to run 91 octane in it without having to mix gas, it's a pain. I bought a case of that boostane, and even the cheapest place you can buy that boostane was like 160, 170 bucks for a case of it. 6 bottles, and that, according to the can, should get me, you know, to mix it to 100 octane, I should be able to mix 12 tanks of fuel, but it don't work like that, especially on fuel from Fossil out there, the 91 from there. It's like I was mixing it half a can to a tank and it was doing okay before, and then the last few tanks that I put in from Fossil, it's a whole can. It takes a whole can to 15 gallons of gas that I put in today, and that way it doesn't ping. That's the last thing I want to do is burn that motor up because I was running too much timing and not enough octane in it. We got 2 people in here. It's probably my old lady stalking me from inside. Nope, I need a hoodie for that. I'll be right back. Oh, that's what I was talking about. All right. Yeah, it's only 9:45. It's quiet now. What am I talking about? Have a good night, man. Take it easy. Well, nothing like firing it up. Oh, it's you. Must be pretty delayed.
I think I accidentally hit the deal. I'm about 45 seconds behind.
Oh. That's why. Monday. There is a button to turn the camera around. Maybe. really. Should get that one bench bled before I go to get the new one off, or the old one off. How's it going? Monday night, out in the garage, tinkering on the old Firebird, working on brakes. Got the fuel tank in it tonight. Well, I had the rear end up on jack stands, got the fuel tank in it. Got the fuel tank plumbed up, just got done putting a new brake hose on the back. Everything under there all tidied up. Moving on to the next set for the brakes is getting this master cylinder bench bled and get all the air bubbles worked out of this thing. Get the old one off, get this new master put on, and then start getting the brakes on the car. Car I'm working on, 69 Pontiac Firebird. And it's covered up in paper. So I was painting the engine bay. It's my old man's car. He's had it for over 35 years. It's been off the road with the engine. It's had the engine out of it since about 1990. And about a month and a half ago, I brought it home to my house and decided I'm going to put a small block Chevy in it. Went all through the brakes, power washed and wire brushed the underside of the car, undercoated it, painted everything, painted the engine bay up, and just working on getting it back on the road. Sounds like my little connections are sucking air. Maybe I ought to try to put some tape on them. That ain't gonna work. Can't get all the air out of your master cylinder if your little connections are sucking air in them. Try that. I feel like that back one's stuck in there too. I'm just making a mess everywhere. Nothing like the smell of brake fluid. There we go. Grease. Oh no. Oh no. These hoses ain't nowhere near stiff enough. Need a better design. Stiffer hose. Thought I had some plastic hoses that used to be on these. Pump it and pump it and pump it till you get the air out of it. There it is, it looks pretty good. Pretty near good. I didn't think of that before. Just bring a little thing around. Brake fluid. Everywhere. Everywhere. This is nasty. But got all the air bubbles out of it. So I'm gonna get the other master cylinder off the car and get this one stuck on. How's it going? Monday night. Working on the Firebird. Bench bleeding a master cylinder. And I think I got it. Feels like that should make a nice firm pedal. How's it going? Working on the old Firebird project. Just got done bench bleeding the master cylinder. If I were to get this old one off, stab that new one in here. You know, now that I got them lines broke free, it'd make a whole lot more sense just to grab a regular wrench instead of keep fighting a line wrench on there. The old Barnbird project. Haven't really showed a whole lot of it on the channel yet. A lot of it's been content on the 71. And sometimes I remember to turn the phone on and record, and sometimes I don't. Stay. There we go. And another wrench. Ratcheting wrench this time. How's it going? Monday night in the garage. Working on the brakes on the Firebird. Been an accomplishing night so far. Got the fuel tank in it, plumbed up. Got the rear brake hose put on back there. That was something that I needed to do while it was up on jack stands. Something that I should have done before I put the fuel tank in. That way I had a place for my head. I haven't really covered this car a whole lot on the channel. I've had it at the house for now a month and a half or so, and it's my dad's car. He's had it forever. It's been off the road for a little over 30 years, and I'm gonna do the unthinkable and put a small block Chevy in a Pontiac Firebird. Just, you know, piss off the purists, I guess. I don't know. I would love to build a Pontiac motor, but at the same time, I'm kind of in the same boat as him. I got a bunch of kids. I don't really got pockets deep enough to build a Pontiac motor. Not for as cheap as I can build a small block Chevy. I can build a small block Chevy, you know, that's 268 Lunati cam instead of camo hump heads. Have a respectable 300-ish horsepower. Put in this old 69 and it'll be a nice road cruiser again. Nice road cruiser. That's all I'm looking for. In time, it would be nice to do the car all up, but in the meantime, if I can just get it running, driving, stopping, back on the road, something the old man can enjoy. Something tells me that this one's going to be way different than that one. I can't see it. I need a screwdriver or something to pry it off. Looks like I got a cap or something on the back of that master. I should have a rubber grommet on there. It looks like it's got some kind of something. It don't look like the back of that old one, or it don't look like the back of the new one, I should say. There it is. Ah. Oh yeah. That thing was nasty. What do you expect when it sits for 30 years? At least one thing this car did have going for it, most of the 30 years that it sat was inside. Probably at least the last 15 of it was in the same storage unit. So that's a plus. It really saved on it on a lot of things. Dad was pretty religious about putting mothballs in it, so that kept the mice out of it, because apparently they really don't like the smell of mothballs. And it's just part of, it's never going to get rid of the smell of mothballs. This car will smell like mothballs for eternity, and that's just all there is to it. But this is a project I've been working on. If you guys have watched anything on the channel, most everything has been the 71 C10. There was a video of when we brought this car home. A 1969 Pontiac Firebird Sprint. It was a 6-cylinder 3-speed car. I put, let's see here, flip the camera around. There we go. Put these wheels and tires on it. Pick these up from a guy. And it's sitting up high right now. I got about 120 pounds or so in the air shocks, because I was up under there changing that brake hose out on top of the rear diff. So when it let the air out of the shocks, there's enough room for like 2 fingers or so in here. But it ain't even had a good bath yet, a good solid bath since we've had it home. It's been rinsed off like up here, but the underside of it got a heavy power wash. The underside of it got a heavy wire brush. The underside of it got powder coat, or not powder coated, undercoated, and all the suspension painted. Sanded the firewall down, repainted the firewall up, gave everything in here a quick coat of paint. Just kind of clean it up, make it look nice. The underside of it, got everything painted up under here, looking pretty good. I'd love to do a restoration on this car. Love to do a restoration on this car, but not right now. I want to make it look decent, make it run down the road and stop, make it sound good. You know, have a cammed up small block in it, so it's gonna sound good. Just make it something the old man can enjoy. That's really, he can enjoy it. What more could you ask for? Well, we got master cylinder, bench blade. Just got the old one off. Working on getting these brakes done up. How did I have that sitting there before? Hopes and dreams. This thing's got telescoping legs on it. Well, there you go. Until it falls over. So any of you guys Pontiac purists and think that it's a royal sin by putting a Chevy motor in a Pontiac car? I know there's got to be a couple people out there that are going to throw a fit about it, but you know, like I said, this is definitely the cheapest option. And it's what I got around. And I got the small block on the stand. It's not quite ready to go, but it's getting there. Not quite. What the hell? Yeah. Really wish you could play music on a live stream without getting copyrighted. That's the hardest part about trying to record anything in the garage or live streaming. Like, if you want to turn on any music in the background, because I usually have the stereo in here, like cranked to 11, pissing the neighbors off. I don't think they mind. I really don't think they mind. Unless it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, then on a work night or something. They might mind if I did something like that, but for the most part, I really don't. I try to be pretty respectful anymore. Even with the old pickup, I went ahead and put exhaust on it, mufflers on it, because it was loud. In my 20s, I wouldn't have given it 2 craps about it. I would have straight piped it. Would have been like, oh, them glass packs are too quiet. I'm gonna put this back over here and go over and get that master cylinder. So I can't carry the master cylinder full of fluid and the camera tripod. I'll be right back. Oh, there I see you. Now I got some comments coming in. I didn't have any comments before. It was stuck on when he needed to put his kids to bed. Bad attitude C10, what's up? What's up, Devin? Can I have it? Just let me have it. I'm gonna ignore that. It ain't even mine. How can I give it to you? It ain't even mine, man. Yeah, it was stuck on. The comments weren't rolling. I didn't know if anybody was talking. I've been talking to myself for a hot minute. And you're right. Pontiac motors are expensive to build. I mean, I feel like for what I can stick into a small block Chevy, you'd probably build, 2 small block Chevys for what it cost to rebuild that inline 6 that was in this car. And granted, the car would have been, probably pretty sweet to put back, numbers matching. But that's just not in the works. That's not in the works. So this whole music thing does bother me. How can you get music that is not copyrighted and just play music in the background and not have to send money to somebody's Patreon or something? My little brother has music. I wonder if he's got copyright on it. I'm gonna play my little brother's music and he's gonna copyright me. Brake fluid everywhere. Get out of here. Hate the smell of brake fluid. It's almost as bad as 80-90. I don't know what's worse. I'll try to get this in a little bit more here. So I'm fighting. Yeah. Yeah. 76 Trans Am. My brother had one for a little while. It was an 80 Trans Am, the Turbo TA. And he, I don't know, it was a one owner car. The guy had it, bought it, ordered it, drove it around this little town forever, and it really was in good shape, but it just was a 301 turbo motor. It just didn't have any power. Man, it was gutless. Now, granted, it did have probably over 100,000 miles on it, but see the small block Chevy when you're done. Which one? The one that's going in here? It ain't done yet. This one ain't done yet. It's on the stand, but I gotta put that other set of heads on it. So I'm basically gonna copy the 355 that used to be in my truck. Same head, same cam. Everything the way that it used to be in my pickup. Same turbo 350, 2400 stall. Everything just the way it was in the truck. This car's gonna get that set up. Pliers. Yeah, the one that was in there when I got married. Right before I got married, was when I put that bootlegger cam in there, and that thing sounded just amazing. Amazing. The exhaust note that engine had, or that cam had, was insane. But I can't dog the cam manufacturer. I can't dog Lunati because I broke it in with double valve springs. I should have pulled the inner springs out when I broke it in. Hater's gonna say LS on my 67. I got an LS project. It ain't done yet. It's kind of, everything was mocked up and ready to go, and gapped all the rings, checked all the bearing clearances and everything. I need to send the rotated assembly off to get balanced. Nothing special. It's a 5.3 Gen 4 rods. Put a set of dish forged pistons in it. Got a Holley Terminator. And the plan was always to put that in the 70 GMC, the orange one sitting outside. That was my grandpa's truck, and it's a rust bucket. I mean, it is a total rust bucket. That is a pile of shit truck. But it was grandpa's truck. I started, it's got a K-member out of an 86 underneath the front end. So power steering, disc brakes. Got everything. I took the leaf springs out of the rear end. So it was the truck was a 3/4 ton with a 307 and a 4-speed, and I took all the heavy duty Dana 60 and leaf springs and everything out of the rear end, put coil springs and trailing arms in it. The K-member swap out of that 86 underneath the front. I replaced all the steering, suspension, everything in the front end of it, painted it up nice. And the plan was to put the fuel injected motor with an overdrive transmission on a basically brand new drivetrain with a rust bucket pickup sitting on top of it. I really don't want to change too much about the way the outside of that truck looks. because that's the way I remember. I want it to look the same way it did growing up. Even if I could find some white steel wheels and a topper for it, that'd be even better, because that's what I always remembered. It always had white steel wheels on it with the topper. That was kind of always the plan with that truck. Seems like all the time and energy has went into that yellow one. And I ain't hardly worked on the orange one ever since I've had that yellow one at the house now for 10 or 11 years. There we go. It's got a master cylinder on it now. With a little centrifugal supercharger. Building mine to do drag and drives. Drag and drives would be the shit, man. It really would be. You're right, nothing else matters. Build it the way I want it. What the haters are gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate. You put a Holly on, they're gonna say, oh, I like Edelbrock's better. You put an Edelbrock on, they're gonna like, Edelbrock suck, you gotta run a Holly. And you got other people are gonna be like, oh, Quadrajet's the way to go. Nobody's ever gonna see eye to eye on anything anybody puts together. I guess it all, do it however you want to do it. 6.0 centrifugal supercharger drag and drive. Drag and drive would be fun. And that's not really just, even if you can build something that's going to be competitive, that'd be more fun, but even just doing it. Yeah, just throw it together. You know, just going out and being able to drive the week, 1,000 miles, 1,300 miles, race at all the racetracks, and finish the week out in one piece, and still be able to put down a good number in the process. It'd be a blast. Yeah. See, drag and drive would be a lot better than all these classes. Like the classes that are out there, the small tire class. I mean, them are freaking, even no prep small tire. Those are tube chassis race cars that are now running on no prep. Shooting for 10s for now. I want to run 8.5 of unlimited class in the future. 10s is fast. I still feel like 10s is fast. I still remember the days of going to the drag strip, and if somebody had a 12-second car, that was fast. That was a bad son of a bitch. But nowadays, like me and Devin were talking the other night, it seems like 8s are the new 10s. Now you go to the drag strip, everybody's chasing 8s. Everybody's chasing 9s. Like, they try to make you feel like 10s ain't that fast anymore. 10s are fast. I mean, you got a 10-second car that drives on the street. 10's an all-metal truck with AC is pretty cool. Hell yeah, it is. It is. I don't care what anybody says. Like OMG, Old Man's Garage, Old Bill's got that Malibu. That Malibu runs what? He's had it, I think, 10s in the quarter. That's a neat old car. All steel, all original, 36,000 miles or so on it. 421 small block with AC, nitrous. That's a neat old car. Something like that, you know, all original-ish looking. Just runs good. 10's in an all-metal truck with AC. That's fast. I mean, you're looking probably 4,000, 4,200 pounds on one of them old trucks, all done up. And to be able to run 10's and get to the shutdown and turn your AC on with your windows still up and everybody else rolling their windows down because they're sweating, like, that's where it's at. That is where it's at. Better put this cap on. the Monty. AC or no AC? $3,600. That's taking some serious weight off of it. I went from just going from aluminum radiator or to the aluminum radiator and aluminum heads. Took 200 pounds off the nose of my truck because I was about 4,200 before I put that stroker in it. And now with that stroker in it, really the only thing that I changed was took out the original 4-core radiator, and this engine has aluminum heads, and when I took it across the scales, it's about 4,000 now. And that's a big difference, but it still has things like the auxiliary tanker underneath the back, and that thing's probably like 1/8-inch sheet metal. That's a pretty big auxiliary tank under there. That thing's got to weigh 25-30 pounds. Chrome moly front cross member and upper and lower control arms, rack and pinion steering. That shapes some weight. I bet that thing handles like a track car. It makes a big difference. Like the blue 71, I'll drive at highway speeds. I'll even get on the interstate and cruise at 75, 80. Will I take any corners fast in it? Oh, hell no. The yellow one, I feel comfortable doing about anything in the yellow one. Like, it's pretty much all stock, just a spring drop, decent set of shocks on it, sway bars, adjustable panhard bar in the back, shock relocation kit, nothing special. But just that changed the handling of that truck so much. Only aluminum in the bed flooring finished. 168 pounds just the bed floor. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, there ain't nothing about them trucks that are light. Those things are all steel. That is real steel back when steel was good steel. Shaved 363 pounds. That's a lot to shave, but I mean, it can be done. I wouldn't see why not. That chrome moly, everything, that it's got to be a lot lighter than all that original A-arms and everything under there. Original steering box, all that, that's a lot of weight. Devin's still in here? I want to see that motor. It ain't even done. It's just sitting on the stand. Just a good wrench motor. Sitting there waiting to get cleaned up. Get a different set of heads put on it. Well, that's what'll go in here. This is the one that come out of the pickup before the stroker went in it. Nothing special. It's like a 290 horse good wrench motor. And I'll put that Lunati 268 in it. Get it done. You gonna come out and help? She said, get it done. She just wants it out of the garage. I want it out of the garage too. This thing should have been done in September, but it just snowballed. Turned into a lot more than what I had initially planned for it. The initial plan was to... She will to a point. We moved in here 11-ish years ago. I think she got the garage to park in for the first winter. And then the city come by, throwing a fit about the orange pickup sitting out in the driveway. It's got current tags on it and everything, and it was tore apart, so it couldn't sit outside. It's been sitting outside for like 8 months now, knock on wood, and they haven't said anything about it. But I don't even know if that Suburban would fit in the garage. I don't think it would. Well, what a mess. I feel accomplished this evening. Got something done on it. One step closer to being running. Now I need to bleed the brakes and of course I made a mess all over fresh paint. So that's the way it goes. Oh well, good thing it's just spray paint and touch it up. That's why I didn't take the paper off of it yet. Soon enough. Yeah, it'll be done soon enough. It's to the point now where the brakes and the suspension is pretty well taken care of. Rear end's all back together, gas tank's in it, fuel line's hooked up with the gas tank. It's pretty well ready to bleed the brakes, start getting that engine together, get the drivetrain set down in it. I need to get that driver's seat pulled out of it, so I can get crawled up underneath the dash and take the clutch pedal out of it and put the automatic pedal in it. Me personally, I would have just let it hang to the floor and drove it. Dad really wants a automatic pedal in there, so I got one. That's one thing he requested, was an automatic pedal. If it's gonna have an automatic, put an automatic pedal in it, so why not? We'll put the automatic pedal in there. But I did go with the star shifter. So I think that's where he decided he wants it. See if I can turn this around. That's where he decided he wanted it. That seemed like the most comfortable place, sitting in it with it in gear. He's talking about building a console in here, something with some cup holders. Yeah, it ain't bad at all. That feels just about right. The old Barnbird. Mothballs. If it was white, I would have nicknamed it Mothballs. Just because it smells like mothballs and it'll forever smell like mothballs. But since it was a Firebird that sat in the shed forever, nicknamed it Barnbird. And you know the funny thing about hashtags? When you hashtag Barnbird, it's like on TikTok, it links you in with bird watching, like bird watching videos. That's hilarious. So anybody that's doing their bird watching on TikTok might get a random Pontiac Firebird video that pops up in their bird watching. Well, I think I'm gonna get off here, clean up my mess, put all my tools away, and call it a night. Get back after it again tomorrow. Might try to go live again Might try to go live like when I do that, tear that engine apart. Might do that live. Just to, oh, something else. I just finally got okay to go live. I tried it tonight. Figured, why not? Try it out. Had a couple people stop in and say hi. It's a cool way for us all to hang out. Watch it, get things done. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here, get my mess cleaned up. Have a good night.